Ina Kenoyer did not live a life of luxury. She and boyfriend Steve Riley routinely struggled to pay for the essentials, often relying on the generosity of Steve's close friends to get by. But in September 2023, life was looking up. The couple were going to clear their debt. They would take a long vacation, perhaps stay for a time in Steve's family castle in Ireland, Ina said. His multi-million-dollar inheritance was only days away. And then life would be different. Steve Riley, however, would not live long enough to see that money. Hi there, I'm Kevin, and welcome to Just Thought Lounge. Today's case is a truly bizarre one. The best evidence against the accused seems to be the alleged killer herself. Let's take a look. The neighborhood where 48-year-old Ina Kenoyer and her longtime boyfriend, 51-year-old Stephen Riley, lived frequently saw visits from the Minot Police Department. Apartment 912A was no exception, though neither Ina nor Steve had an extensive criminal history. Around 4 a.m. on September 3, 2023, Minot PD responded to a call that a neighborhood resident named Chad was intoxicated. He had been banging on doors and behaving aggressively. After Chad had an encounter with Steve Riley, in which the two may have headbutted each other, Steve had taken off for a walk to clear his head. That is when officers were introduced to Ina Kenoyer.
Hey, how you doing?
Hi. Sorry.
You thought it was Chad?
Yeah.
Who was Chad out
trying
here?
to kick in everybody's door.
Who was he out here fighting?
Busted on my light, and look at the garbage cans.
Who was here? Who was he fighting with out here?
My fiance, he went for a walk to cool down.
Okay. Who's
he
that?
punched him a couple times.
Who's that? Who's your fiance?
Steve.
Steve.
Riley.
Steve Riley? Okay. What's your name?
I'm Ina.
Ina.
Kenoyer.
Okay.
Inquiring about the incident with Chad, they found that Ina seemed to have other topics on her mind, sneaking in details about what she really wanted to talk about. The massive inheritance that Steve was only hours away from receiving. Unsolicited, she told officers more than once that the couple planned to move from the apartment soon.
He gets his inheritance this afternoon. That's why we're moving. We're going to pay all our bills off that we need to pay off.
Do you guys want to press any charges against Chad?
I'll ask him when he gets here.
Are you asking your fiance?
Yeah.
Okay.
He went to cool down because
Okay.
Chad really
Who started the
woke him
fight?
up
Chad?
right
Or
in
who
dead
started the
sleep.
fight? Chad or your fiance?
Chad.
Chad did.
Like I said, he has a really important appointment with his lawyer today at 2 o'clock.
Is his head okay, you think, or is he wandering around bleeding somewhere?
I don't.
Okay.
He just wandered off. Said, I gotta cool down, I'll be back.
Ina agreed to give a recorded statement about the encounter and to send Steve down to the station later to do the same. Of course, only after he had met with his lawyer that afternoon to receive his inheritance.
Yeah, he's been trying to get that truck ready for his son in Texas. He's in the Army National Guard in the garage.
Oh.
I'm gonna tow it down to him. No, we're gonna tow it down to him. And then take a long vacation. He'll probably put it in his report when he goes in to pay all his fines off. So, I've only been putting $5 on it a month. So, I mean, that's all I could afford.
Yeah. He's
I
coming
couldn't
in
even
tomorrow
buy
to do
food,
that,
huh?
or what? He's coming in tomorrow to do that, or what?
Today.
Okay.
His lawyer gets here today at 2
Okay.
to sign the paperwork for his money.
Okay.
And then he's going to go pay that. And his lawyer...
Ina gave her brief statement about the encounter with Chad, who was subsequently located with only minor injuries. Police and EMS left the scene. Only 2 days later, many of the same officers would be called out to apartment 912A once more. But that time, it was Stephen Riley who would leave in an ambulance.
If you want to step back inside, and then if Steve shows back up, we're going to try to look for him to get his side of the story as well. But if Steve shows back up, if you just want to give us a call or have him give us a call, we'll talk to him then, okay?
Yeah,
All
he's gonna stop by anyways, like I said.
Sounds good.
I've only been able to put like $5 on his fines, but at least it was something.
Okay,
But
sounds good.
we're gonna pay it all off, all at once.
Perfect, thank you.
Ina and Steve met at an Easter dinner hosted by a homeless shelter over 10 years earlier when they were living in Washington state. The couple moved to North Dakota together, where they lived for the next decade, though they never married. Life had always been difficult for Ina, who had a rough childhood, one marred by allegations of abuse. Steve had waged his own battles, with 2 failed marriages and only a handful of family members with whom he was not estranged. He was close with only one of his sons, Ryan, who had joined the National Guard in Texas. Roughly 7 years prior, a friend of Steve's had received a phone call from a man named Marcus Riley, who claimed to be an uncle of Steve's from Ireland. He was looking to get in touch with his distant nephew. It was then that Steve had learned he was in line for a massive inheritance, an estimated $17 million. Because Marcus had also invested heavily in real estate, the total sum, including his assets, was thought to be even higher, over $30 million US dollars. Just a few months before Steve's unfortunate encounter with his neighbor Chad, he had learned of his uncle's passing. A British lawyer had contacted him with the news. After months of delay for various reasons, this solicitor, Richard, was expected to fly into Minot from London to complete the handover. Richard was first due several days earlier, on August 29th, but had issues with his plane. His new arrival time was 2 p.m. on September 3rd. Upon his arrival at the airport, Steve was expected to sign some papers and receive his millions. While awaiting the lawyer's arrival, Steve had become seriously ill, his physical state deteriorating throughout the afternoon, culminating in his collapse at the airport. 2 of Steve's good friends, Billy Burkhead and Wes Toggerson, were with Steve at the time. Wes had helped him home. The lawyer had never arrived. Wes assisted Steve to his couch while Ina treated him with cold towels and ice. The belief was that hours spent in the garage working on his truck that morning had given him heat stroke. Over the course of the night, his condition did not improve.
Hello?
Yeah. It's Officer Sullivan, Minot PD.
Yeah, hang on. Gotta make that. Go!
Not responding. He's on the crack of the bed right there. She tried to sit him up and he fell off the bed.
Paramedics on scene were told that Steve had been drinking beers the day before. The last one he had consumed had been at 5 a.m., Ina said. Friends had returned to the airport later that night, again expecting the lawyer's plane to land after he had failed to arrive for the 2 p.m. meeting. The lawyer did not arrive at 8 p.m. either. Based on what Ina told paramedics, Steve was brought to the hospital under the assumption that he was inebriated. Just hours later, he passed away.
Steve.
Edward Riley.
Edward Riley.
Yeah. As soon as I find my wallet, I'll get this ID.
Friend Billy Burkhead had been with Steve for most of the previous day. They worked on the truck before leaving for the airport for the scheduled meeting. It was the day that Steve had been waiting for. He had been in good spirits. So Billy was not buying the story that Steve had been drunk. He never saw his friend with a beer that day. He also did not believe that he had suffered from heat stroke. Billy called the Minot PD out to the apartment once again to let them know that there was more to the story. And until it was sorted, he wasn't leaving Steve's greatest possession, his truck, in the hands of Ina Kenoyer.
You just keep her from not selling all his stuff, everything will be fine.
Was it her husband?
Yeah. They're not married.
Well, we can't babysit what she does, though.
Right. Well, I mean, me and Steve, we're partners in all of this. The motor's mine, the truck's his.
Yeah.
And I don't want her to sell it because we think she poisoned him.
Yeah.
I'm almost sure she poisoned him.
So what's your plan right now?
We're making sure nothing goes. I found out a little while ago that he died. He's dead.
Yeah.
Steve's dead.
Okay. When's the son supposed to get here?
He's not dead. I told you.
Stop!
He's not.
He's dead.
I just beat his son.
And he was poisoned.
Yeah.
And he was poisoned.
So when's the son supposed to get here?
And then we're supposed to go up to the airport and meet this guy because he's supposed to get quite a bit of money.
Yeah.
So we went there. Come back. We had to help him out of the car. Had to help him in the house. Well, his old landlord, Wes, used to mount at radar base. He come and helped me get him in there.
Okay. Well,
Billy explained that the group had gone to the airport with Steve the day before. The next morning, the day that Steve had died, Wes stopped by the house to check in on him. Ina had refused to let him enter. She had insisted that Steve was receiving treatment at a walk-in clinic and was not at home.
She's not happy. She was supposed to call the ambulance. She never called the ambulance.
all right.
Wes went, he's at the clinic. He went to every clinic yesterday. He wasn't around. Went to the hospital. He wasn't there. He come back up here, knocked on the door. She wouldn't answer. And he hopped through the door. He said, he's not at none of them places. Well, as soon as he left, and he got almost by Walmart, she called the ambulance. Took him to the hospital
How long ago was this?
yesterday.
So where did he die?
They shipped him to
No, I mean, where was he at when the ambulance picked him up?
right here.
Okay, he was here.
Billy continued to monitor the truck until Steve's son Ryan arrived. There was no VIN number on the vehicle to verify its ownership, so the Minot PD left the property.
She hasn't been notified yet?
What?
She hasn't been notified yet?
Who? I don't know.
I think that's what dispatch was saying.
That she hasn't?
Yeah.
Oh. Okay. He is. I thought everybody knew. I'm sorry.
Don't tell me anything.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I guess the son is on his way here. Okay. Apparently the son is on the way here. So,
His son better put them all in prison.
yeah. Do you know the son? You know the son? Yeah.
I haven't seen him since he was 5.
You what?
I haven't seen him since he was 5.
Oh, wow. Okay. All right. Well, we're going to go. You guys just leave each other alone. Everything will be fine. Okay? All righty.
Billy was not the only friend who notified police with suspicions surrounding Steve's death. Indeed, Billy's partner, Lynn, reported that Ina had previously made some potentially incriminating statements, suggesting that if she ever killed her partner, she'd poison him using antifreeze. Wes likewise came forward, explaining how Ina had insisted they not call an ambulance for Steve when he collapsed at the airport. Then she had lied the next day, claiming Steve was receiving treatment when he was in fact still inside the apartment and gravely ill. Things did not look good for Ina, particularly when doctors at the hospital determined that Steve had, in fact, been poisoned. It seemed that Steve had consumed a fatal amount of antifreeze. There was clearly no love lost between Ina and Steve's close friends. The next day, however, as police launched a homicide investigation, Ina called the police to express concerns of her own.
This is property that Steve was buying after his inheritance got here.
Oh, okay.
I think he left it to his son, but I had to Google where to go to get his inheritance switched over to the people he left it to. I don't know.
Okay. Who actually is the owner of this truck?
Steve.
Okay.
Yeah, it's in his name.
It's in his name?
Yeah, the title's coming. Yeah, we were going to get all his fines paid off, get both of our license, get some new cars,
Okay.
go to Ireland, get married, stay in his family castle or whatever, because that's what he wanted to do.
Wow.
And the day he was supposed to meet his lawyer at the airport, apparently I thought it was Heathrow, and he said it was Heathrow. That was the last day I talked to him.
Okay.
But the last thing he said was get a restraining order against Wes and the property, and make sure you don't get paid. That change it over, and that I was right about his friends. Because when I left him a while back, like a year ago, I told him, you gotta go with me. Your friends are gonna fucking kill you. You gotta leave them. I don't care if you're here, but get a real job and don't ever talk to them again, because they will kill you. Apparently he was poisoned.
All right.
And I don't know how to get a hold of the guy in London with his inheritance. He should be here in town. I don't understand, so why he never showed up at the airport. So trying to figure out why.
A lot going on.
All right. Well, if he comes back, just give us a call. All right.
When they sat down with detectives, Steve's friends all told the same story. When he received his large inheritance, his plan was to leave Ina. To some friends, he stated that he would buy her a house of her own. To others, he never expressed a plan to share the money at all. It seems Ina believed that he did not have a choice. After over 10 years together, she assumed that she was entitled to a fair share of the funds. She frequently referred to herself as his fiancée or even his wife, though they never married. No one told her that there is no such thing as a common law partnership in the state of North Dakota.
In the paperwork.
And the paperwork he needed to sign, yeah.
Okay.
And, I said, well, Ina, I have to? And he said, no, we're not married, he says. And I didn't think they were, because that's what he always said.
Right.
But,
did he ever mention how much money he was getting? Did he say amount?
yeah, huge amount. 20 what?
Well, he said the original was like 21 or 27 million. But he said it had just sat in this account, so it had accumulated interest as well.
For years I sat without adding the interest in. Then he came up with a new number. It went up by 3, 4, 5 million maybe.
Ina reportedly kept a very close eye on communications with Richard, the English lawyer. Indeed, she had access to Steve's email account, and according to others, would write to Richard directly.
Going into Steve's email to get these emails.
She transferred the information
To her phone?
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then Steve's phones would always go missing because we'd say, well, Steve, have you heard from him? Well, my phone's gone again. you know. Well, then he'd get another phone. Well, then we'd give him some money for some food and to get some more minutes on his phone.
Now, it's either Link or Billy told me that when this first realized that she might be doing something, his phone disappeared.
Okay.
And Steve did lose things occasionally, but his phone disappeared and he didn't find it for a long time. They must have got a different burner phone or whatever you call them.
Yeah.
Well, anyhow, I think there were probably 3 phones in the house that night when I took them back from
From the airport.
From the airport, yeah. And she had one, but her information got transferred from his phone to hers. She had all that.
Documents and
On
emails.
there. Yeah.
Wes told detectives about Ina's control over Steve on the day he fell ill. They did not know how serious his condition was at that time. Indeed, most of the party at the airport had thought that it was possible that Steve did have heat stroke.
He made that comment that he had not been
No,
drinking.
he said, I haven't been drinking.
He actually made that comment quite a few times.
That day? That night?
That night, because when we were at the airport, you know, he'd be sitting there and, you know, I told him, you know, just sip some water, Steve.
Okay.
And he kept saying, God, I feel like I'm drunk on it. He said, I haven't drank anything all day.
But she told me not too long ago that she's worked in the medical field for either 32 or 34 years. Well, when Steve got sick up at the airport.
Okay.
And
So recently?
yeah, the day he died, or the next day he died.
Okay.
And she said, well, I know what I'm doing. I worked as a nurse for 32 or 34 years, and I started adding, you know, to be a nurse, you got to be 4, 5, 6 years college at 20. So, and then you add 34 on to 26, which makes her older than she was, and she hasn't worked for a long time. So she wasn't telling the truth.
Sure.
Yeah.
Which, in the afternoon, he actually gets taken to the hospital by ambulance.
Okay.
What time were
It was in
you
the morning.
there?
I
Okay.
went there earlier.
Any idea what time? Like 8, 10?
No, not 8, no, but I would think 10 or so.
Okay.
But I knocked, and she didn't say anything right away. Then I knocked again, and who is it? And I said, well, it's Wes, and she knew it, you know.
Because she saw you.
Yeah. And I said, is Steve there? No, he's at the walk-in clinic. Same thing again.
Okay.
And I said, Ina, I've been to the walk-in clinics. I've been to the hospital. He's not there. Where is he? And then she locked the door.
Ina and Steve had a serious argument only days before he died. She had taken many of his belongings and thrown them out the front door, scattering items across the pavement. It seems the relationship was nearing its end. Steve confided this to both his son Ryan and his good friend Billy.
So he was talking about how he was getting a large sum of money.
Okay.
And he said whenever that came through with his lawyer or whatever, he was gonna take that truck that he had in the garage that he was working on for me.
Yeah.
Drive that down to Texas, give me the information, because he had set up like a trust fund for me and my brothers, supposedly.
Okay.
And he kind of just wanted to leave her because she didn't really have a job and was like leeching off of him.
Okay.
Just laid around all day.
So he wanted to leave, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Did Steve ever talk about leaving Ina?
All the time.
Okay.
Every day. Every day.
Do you think she knew about that?
Mm-hmm.
She did. Okay.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
A search warrant was carried out on apartment 912A. The home was filthy. Clutter, food packaging, mess from the dogs, and other dusty garbage covered every surface. In the mess, investigators found the very substance they expected would be somewhere inside: a bright green liquid in the bottom of a bottle of window cleaner. In the garage where Steve had spent the first portion of the day he fell ill, a Coors Light bottle with the same fluid sat on the workbench. Another mug with the liquid visible was also in plain view. The antifreeze in the bottle and the mug could have been from a number of larger containers kept in the garage. The fluid is odorless. When mixed with another liquid, its color fades. The ethylene glycol added to antifreeze makes it taste sweet. This means it is easily disguised within another sweet drink, such as a cola, or perhaps a glass of Steve's favorite drink, sweet tea. Curiously, it was found in plain view, as though Steve had inexplicably been consuming it, openly and undiluted. Ina was not under arrest when she sat down with detectives. The case was still developing, though investigators knew far more than they were letting on. Ina explained to detectives that she had been unable to move forward with the arrangements for Steve's inheritance. Her last contact with the lawyer was after Steve had been admitted to the hospital.
But the lawyer would not contact me back, personally. That I'm his girlfriend, wife type thing.
Yep.
And he would like to contact you. Is there a way to contact you? You know, through legal means, like inheritance lawyer or something here.
Okay.
But he never, he, all of a sudden the email disappeared. Like it didn't exist.
The address? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
How long ago was that? Do you remember?
Pretty much when I told him he was in the hospital.
Okay.
The emails wouldn't go through anymore. It was saying it never existed.
Okay. So it was foreign, the uncle's foreign and the money is in a foreign account.
Yeah.
And so how is he going to get the money? What was the plan?
Well, the lawyer guy wanted to give him to get a bank account.
The lawyer
originally.
Okay, so he wanted
so he could just deposit it into his bank account.
Okay.
It couldn't be nobody else's bank account.
Sure.
According to the lawyer.
Okay.
And I was like, yeah, I can give you a few bucks, you know. I paid to get a birth certificate so he can go get his ID and his Social Security.
Okay. So he was going to be sending this lawyer all of his personal information.
Yeah.
In light of the lawyer's sudden and convenient disappearance, Ina's new theory was that Steve had intentionally poisoned himself. After the lawyer failed yet again to show up in person with the money, he drank the antifreeze in desperation.
He probably realized it was a joke on him, or you know, it wasn't real.
Do you think the money's real?
I hope for Steve's sake it was, but it was too fishy for me.
After weeks with no contact from the lawyer, Ina must have reached the conclusion that no money was forthcoming. That was fine, she said. She had always planned to give the money to Steve's family anyway.
Did Steve ever say when he got the money that he was going to leave? He was going to go anywhere? He was going to leave you? He was going to give you some money and be done? Anything like that?
He was off and on, yeah, when we got into fights.
Okay.
Yeah.
Was he going to make sure you got money?
No.
Okay.
Because I kept telling him I don't want it.
You had been together for a long time.
That's what's, yeah.
Were you expecting that if something, I mean, you would get money?
No.
Okay.
Like I said, I would have given it to his ex-wives because they deserve it way more than I did.
Okay.
Because they were actually married.
Ina explained that she believed Steve had consumed nearly an entire case of 24 beers on the morning of the airport trip. She believed he was dehydrated, so she had served him glasses of sweet tea throughout the day and night, though there was no alcohol found in his system when he died.
He was drinking beer all day. He was working in the garage. He was spray painting his truck, with the doors and the windows closed, and barely drinking any water.
So he consumed almost a case of beer in.
Oh, he can drink more than that. I've seen him drink a couple cases.
But on that day.
Yeah, it was a case of beer.
From probably 6 or 7 in the morning until 2 in the afternoon, so 5 to 6 hours. Does that sound right?
Probably.
Okay. Did you drink anything else?
Just a glass of water that I brought him, and his tea. I made iced tea because he begged for iced tea. That's pretty much it. Glass of tea and a glass of ice water.
When the lead detective was briefly called from the room, Ina casually speculated that perhaps Steve had accidentally poisoned himself. He had in fact done this once before. It was 6 months, perhaps a year prior. The exact dates escaped her, she said, due to a serious brain injury that she claimed wreaked havoc with her memory.
And he kind of finally confessed he accidentally drank some kind of fluid.
And that was about 6 months ago, you said?
It could have been longer.
Okay.
Could have been a year ago. Everything runs with my brain injury. Everything kind of smushes and
Yeah, she was just saying that about 6 months, maybe a year ago, there was a prior ambulance call up there where it was maybe heat stroke, but Steve said that he thinks he might have accidentally drank some kind of fluid from the garage while working on a car.
So I just have a lot of concerns here, okay, and I'm just going to be honest with you. You told the paramedics when they were there that morning or afternoon that he had been drinking till 5 in the morning, that he had been consuming alcohol. That's on body cam. Okay, you said he was drinking all day the day before and that he drank his last drink at 5 a.m. Okay, and now you're telling me
tea.
He didn't drink. That's not what you say on this video. Okay.
I want to see this video.
Okay. Well, I'm not going to show you the body cam. I'm just telling you that that's what's on there. There's reports that Wes came to the house that morning, and you said that Steve was at the walk-in clinic. He wasn't at the walk-in clinic.
Steve didn't want to see Wes anymore.
Okay, but Steve wasn't at the walk-in clinic.
He was at the hospital.
He wasn't at the hospital. He wasn't anywhere yet. Because
He was
it's been
at the
verified. He
hospital.
wasn't when Wes was there. Okay.
He just left with the ambulance when Wes showed up there.
That's not what's been reported to us. Wes was there prior to.
Yeah, the timestamps prove that.
I want a lawyer.
Okay, that's fine.
Am I being arrested?
Nope, you're not being arrested. We're just talking. So, but if you want a lawyer, we can stop talking right now. That's fine.
But I'm telling you the God honest truth.
Okay.
I don't know what happened. I wasn't there. I wish I was there. I wish I was with him every second of the day that day. I wish I watched every single, but I'm not his goddamn mom.
You asked for a lawyer, so we're just going to end this now. Okay, I'm not going to talk anymore. All right?
You guys are so unbelievable. Fucking serious.
This way, right here. Here, I'll walk her.
Oh my God.
Ina Kenoyer was arrested and indicted for the murder of Stephen Riley. She continued to profess her innocence and to make further outlandish claims. These included speculation that Steve had secretly poisoned himself out of shame for being duped by Richard the lawyer. She said that Billy and Lynn could have poisoned him because they were nasty people. And finally, that she had also been poisoned herself months earlier. She claimed that had resulted in a miscarriage, though she could not support the assertion that she had ever been pregnant.
Please lock up my house.
Yeah, we'll lock up the house for you.
I'll give you the keys, but...
Yep, we'll lock your house up for you. Is there anything you need?
Yes? Why me?
So right.
Who?
So you get that copyright and all that. So now you do have the right to remain silent. You want us to lock up your house still?
Yes.
Okay, where are your keys at? Where your door even lock?
No? You guys busted open after I offered the key.
When's that?
When the detectives came and talked to me.
Okay, so it normally doesn't lock though.
Normally it does lock.
But since then it hasn't locked. So, is there anything you need from the house? Purse? Just don't
Never been arrested before like this. I've never done anything. I haven't done anything.
Right.
Not ever.
We'll let you smoke a cigarette.
Sorry, but my face, everything is gone.
We just need probable cause to make an arrest, so it's over and proof, okay? He's still innocent, so we can guilty. Remember that.
I know I'm innocent.
You're welcome.
6 months following her arrest, Ina attended a court hearing to accept a plea deal.
How do you plead, man? Guilty or not guilty? Guilty.
Before sentencing, Steve's son Ryan offered an impact statement expressing his grief for the loss of the father that he had reconnected with years earlier and built a strong bond. Steve's sister Stephanie also offered a statement for the court.
My opinion of you is what you did to my brother is that you ironically are an exact reflection of the home that you kept and lived in. Vile, filthy, disgusting, embarrassing, gross, full of feces and pure trash.
As the case drew to a close in October 2024, the Minot PD spoke about the investigation, one that had been amongst the strangest they had ever seen.
There was a belief that if he wasn't in the picture, that she would be entitled to any settlement money through that common law marriage. That kind of changed as the investigators informed her that we don't have common law marriage in North Dakota. Yeah, everything that we have indicates that that settlement doesn't exist. There wasn't a long-lost rich relative or any other type of settlement that would lead to $30 million going in the direction of the victim. But that was the belief. Both parties believed that and had discussed it with friends, discussed it with family members.
Ina was sentenced to 25 years in prison and another 25 years on a suspended sentence. That was the tragic case of Stephen Riley. Thanks for joining me, and a special thanks to Steppy, Liz C., and Taylor for joining the Members Lounge. I'm Kevin. This is Just Thought Lounge, and I'll see you in the next one.
Cries repeat, gotta take my time, cause these crimes get deep, but these stories can't hide, let me find my seat. Kevin, go ahead and settle in. Gotta be selective, doing all the research, keeping it objective, always been effective, can say he got a knack, pick of the litter, you see how Newton got his back. Yeah, the content that you need, this could be a new sign, we talk